Hi guys, today I wanted to read to you a story that's called I Think My Son's Imaginary Friend Wants to Hurt Me. Being a mother was all I ever wanted to be. Beginning at the age of 4, I used to stick pillows inside my blouses, trying to get that grown-up belly bump I'd seen on pregnant ladies at the grocery store or on TV. I couldn't wait to be a mommy and have a baby all on my own. My mom became pregnant again. I was a good girl and I helped her with the chores, and we read books with the baby every night. I'd sit on my mommy and daddy's bed and rub my mommy's tummy while she read the stories so both the baby and I could hear. When my little brother was born, I cared for him as if he were my own. I was a precious child, always learning new things so that I could help my brother. It's why I was the first student in my class to learn how to read. And that's how I learned how to cook and how to make my own snacks growing up. Relationships was always hard. Then a typical sibling bond, it was very special. I went to college close to home so I could be at all my brother's soccer games at school. I met the love of my life, and after we graduated, we decided to get married and start our lives together. I was beyond thrilled. Life was turning out to be everything I ever dreamed of. Soon I have my own little family and our own little house, and everything would be perfect. I got pregnant a year after we married, pretty much as soon as we started trying. I was so relieved, but I still took the ease of everything happening as a sign that this was my destiny. I was born to be a mother, and the universe was conspiring to make it so. Our first was a precious girl. We named her Sophie. She soon became a big sister to Elena and Johnny. My son Johnny is 5 now. He was an angelic baby. He got on sleeping schedule right away, and breastfeeding wasn't as difficult as I read it would be. We bonded right away, and I adored how much he needed me. My whole day was scheduled around dotting on his every needs. He is a sweet little angel who, despite his recent little temper tantrums, is so loving and full of potential. He's going to be a great man someday. The problem started a year ago at his friend's 4th birthday party. After the birthday party, he was sitting on my lap while we were having some snuggles before bed. He told me about one of his friends he played with at the birthday party. The friend's name was Damon. That's not a name that blends in the background. I would definitely remember if one of his friends from school or one of the kids in the neighborhood was named Damon. And they definitely would not have been invited into our home. And I don't know any parents remotely goth enough to name their child Damon. It sounds vaguely evil. Johnny must have gotten the wrong name, or he was mispronouncing it, which he was still in phase of doing. I even checked. There was absolutely not anyone named Damon at the party. After a few days went on, he continued to talk about playing with his friend Damien. He also pretended to call Damien on the phone and mentioned that Damien was joining us for meals. It was clear that Damien wasn't real. I was absolutely horrified that he had chosen this name for his imaginary friend. I immediately consulted a priest, who assumed me and Johnny likely just heard the name somewhere in Sunday school and took a fancy to it. I convinced Johnny that Damie was a good gender-neutral name for his friend, and eventually I got him to use the nickname, so at least he wouldn't be overheard talking about his friend Damon at the grocery store. Other parents found out that Johnny's imaginary friend was named Damon, and they started blaming all sorts of mean-spirited things on him. They said he was biting other kids and telling them that their parents were going to move out in the middle of the night and leave them forever. He's a sweet boy, a shy boy who never causes problems. So I know for a fact that the other parents are just lying. With Sophie and Elena, we could always see what the behavior issues were. Johnny is more well behaved than all of them. They're just a bit jealous of how emotionally mature my boy is. Johnny is just not a naughty kid. One of the neighbors even accused him of poisoning their cat. Obviously, the police had to get involved at that point. We couldn't just have some crazy people running around town making those kind of accusations about our son. The police said there was simply no evidence that a 5-year-old could have been involved, and that was that. See, some people are just crazy, and there's no convincing them otherwise. Things began to happen at home too. Mostly I started to have strange feelings that Johnny was keeping secrets from me. It's an important part of growing up. Boys don't continue to share everything with their mothers into adulthood. He just seemed a bit off. Though it didn't feel like any of the other growing up changes he made or transitions I was familiar with, because Sophia and Elena, he started closing the doors to his room all the time, even at night, when he used to insist we left it cracked so he could never get completely dark inside. In fact, Johnny didn't seem to like. He was afraid of the dark at all anymore. He never reached for my hand when we walked into the room without the light on. He didn't express any anxieties about going to school or trying something new. He seemed to have an air of confidence I've never seen in a small child before. But then again, I couldn't help but be a little proud. I always knew Johnny was going to be special. He's going to be a great man someday. I really wish the other moms in the neighborhood weren't so cliquey. I feel terrible that Johnny must be suffering because they're jealous that I get to stay home and devote all my attentions to my kid. They've banned him from the children's parties in our community. Not officially or anything, but they can't involve the school because they just repeat what I say. That he gets perfect marks and he has never been caught misbehaving with the other boys. They're all being very sneaky. Cheryl across the street is claiming that she woke up and Johnny was in her room watching her sleep. She claims that he had one of her kitchen knives in her hand. Another neighborhood mom, Jenny, who says that at her daughter's birthday party, Johnny led a group of kids into the woods and they all seemed scared when they returned. I guess a girl mom wouldn't know the kinds of shenanigans boys get up into. Johnny's best friend is Josh, who is in his class at school. One day, Josh came home with one of his hair safety scissored off, and Johnny was blamed. Even though no one saw Johnny cut any of Josh's hair, and Josh could have easily done it himself. Josh actually told his parents that Johnny didn't do anything wrong. To be fair, technically, he said Damie was the one who cut his hair. But it clearly was not John. It's not like I'm completely ignorant of what the other parents are talking about. I just know Damie is a bad influence on my family. Johnny must have watched some TV show at his friend's house and that he's not allowed to watch at home. That's where he heard the name Damon and got all these naughty ideas in his head. Not that he's actually done anything wrong. All the neighborhood kids must be playing some game. I've even wondered if it could be some kind of mass hysteria. Recently, I've had one of my own bad experiences with Damie. I was cleaning Johnny's room and I went through one of his notebooks he has on his desk for coloring. He's not an advanced reader, but he pretty much can only write basic words, like his name and the names of barnyard animals. At least that's what I thought. The note was filled out like a diary. There was large but neat crayon handwritten, sorry guys. There was a large but neat crayon handwritten that must be Johnny. But the diary was filled out with someone's complete thoughts. And they weren't a 5-year-old. Holy fuck, you scared me. What are you doing, Ezra? Okay, and they weren't a 5-year-old. Not even one as precious as Johnny. On my way back to Pages, I found my daughter's name. Sorry, guys. I found my daughter's name with the series of tilde marks under each of their names. To keep track of something, my sweet girls must be helping him with his letters. I've read a lot of books about raising multiple children in the same family. Anyway, here's the story. They must have been working together. So this is a diary entry. Today I left some toys in front of the stairs so that Sophie or Elena might fall down them. Or maybe mommy and daddy when they're running around looking at their phones. They're always looking at their phones. The only time they pay attention to me is when they're taking a photo of me to put on Facebook. My heart caught in my throat as I realized what a genius my little boy was. Not only that he could write, but he was already experimenting with fiction and artists. Still, it's concerning that he's chosen to make his characters dislike the mother character. I flipped a few pages and found another entry. So here it goes. I've got to get rid of all of them. Everyone in my family hates Damon. Once they are gone, I'll have time to start my real projects. Well, I admit the first thing I felt after reading this was fear. I love my son more than my own life. But there was a brief moment of honesty where I let myself admit I've always thought something was off about him. I talked as loud as I could to anyone who would listen and thought the doctors were judgmental pricks. But maybe they had a point. And then I came to my senses. Johnny has never been anything other than an extraordinary boy. He took his first steps at just 8 months and a half. Strangely enough, there was an entry about how the writer had replaced his mother's heart medication pills with water pills. I walked into the kitchen and pulled my heart medication pills out. I've been taking them ever since my pregnancy with John. My blood pressure went up and it just never went back down. I have to take the medication now or I'd be at risk for a stroke. I've been doing it for so long, it's like second nature to me now. I don't like to pay attention, but the pills in the container do look generic. I thought there used to be some kind of symbol on the top of the little white circles, but these were just all smooth and plain. I'd have to go check with my next batch, but I'm sure it's all in my head. It's just the other moms getting to me. That's Johnny now. He's calling me from the bathroom. He knows mommy likes baths just like he does, so he told me I have to take one tonight. He even brought in a radio from his dad's office so I can listen to relaxing music. I told you he was Precious. I think Damon is a bit strange, but I definitely don't like that someone imaginary seems to have replaced me as Johnny's favorite person and confident. But he never do anything bad. Not my little Johnny. He's going to be a great man someday. So guys, that's how it ends. I think that mommy is getting killed. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Say hello to my puppies. Nixon, wake up, Ezra. Yo, oh fuck, okay, bye.